Drip wisdom, slow pours like molasses. Visionary queens and the bosses, no glasses. TammyRenee microphone, 5G embraces. Stories reshape, no trace of stasis. Echoes of heroes, waves that create. Lessons in the struggle, heavy as fate. Voices of inspiration, elevate the state. Wave of change, ripples, never too late. Leaders who inspire in the dark, casting light and hope, igniting each spark. Breaking chains, rearranging every arc. TammyRenee's voice echoes leave a mark. Come on into the wave of change where I am interviewing leaders who inspire action, sharing stories, giving tips, and dropping gems. Some make Let's make some waves. Share, comment, ask a question if you like. If you are catching this replay, you know what to do. Hit that hashtag replay. My name is TammyRenee, and I am here to help you change and take action in your life. Today, we are talking about the intersection of spirituality and world travel and how it could shape your lifestyle. Drop me a wave in the comments. Drop those waves and let's welcome Tania Teodor, a CEO of Sweet Soul Service, Sweet Sweet Soul Service, a spiritual mentor, energy work facilitator, transformational catalyst, and guiding people into their spiritual and evolution journey. Yes, let's welcome. How are you today?
Hey, really happy to be here. Thank
Good.
you for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, Taya, why don't you tell us, share your name with us, just in case I messed that up. I don't know. I may have been perfect. And share a little bit about your business and what you do.
Sure, it was great. My name is Tania Teodor. I'm a spiritual mentor and energy work facilitator. I guide people on their spiritual journey and on their evolution, self-healing journey because I strongly believe we are self-healers and we are supporting each other into tapping into our own abilities. I am a full-time traveler since almost 17 years now. And together with my partner, we are wild schooling our two daughters. So it's all connected, the traveling life with my work and the family life. I think spirituality anyway, it's a lifestyle. It's not something that I do separate from my life. It's part of it. So I'm really honored to be able to share my work with the world and be of service in this way. Yes. And I love sharing, so I'm really happy to have this opportunity.
We are excited that you love sharing because we are ready to receive. So, you know what to do. You make sure you got your pencils and your papers because we always dropping gems in here. And you never know, you might hear something that you need to know or you will relate to. So, one of the things that when I read through your bio and all of your information, you talked a lot about spirituality and travel as a lifestyle. When did you actually start getting into spirituality? How has that had an effect on your life? Like, how did that all come about, making that part of a lifestyle for you? And when did you start?
So I grew up in a spiritual family. They were like arty and spiritual, really open to all sorts of modalities, healing modalities, nature connection. I'm originally from Romania, so deeply rooted in Romanian traditions, Romanian folk, herbalism, and all of that. So I grew up immersed in this. They didn't push us to learn, but they were an example, and everything we were doing was interconnected with spirituality. So from talking to plants and hugging trees to grounding to things that at the time I didn't really have the terms to define. We were just doing. I knew it's a bit odd and it's not like what the average family does on holiday, like hello to the sun and hugging trees and stuff like this. But in time I realized what seeds they are planting into us. And during my teenage years, of course, I wanted to rebel a bit and learn other things than what I've seen at home. And then I went into more dark occultism and esoteric, all sorts of approaches to it. And yeah, I started traveling when I was fresh out of high school. And I took my traveling as an initiation journey, which then became my life as an initiation journey. So it always was there connected to me. I just made it mine after a whole process from teenage to young adult. And I guess it's normal, we all go through this, like we have to rebel a bit as
Mm-hmm.
teenagers to find our way. And yeah, in my mid 20s, like these things started falling somehow into place and the puzzles coming together on my own way.
Okay, good. So your rebellion sounds like a great rebellion, though. Like, I would do that rebellion. Let me just go see the world. I'm leaving. I'm going to go see the world. I love that. But while we were talking, a lot of people don't understand when we talk about spirituality what that means. And yes, it means different things for different people. So, in your perspective, when you say you are spiritual, let the people know what that means to you because it may resonate with someone or give them another way to look at what spirituality means.
So, for me, and in my experience, how my journey unfolded, it means bringing together in balance our divine part, because we are both human and divine, and it's important to not bypass the human and not bypass the divine. And that's something that my grandpa really repeated during my childhood, though I didn't understand at the time what he meant. But it's about being present in the human, in the now, but in the same time open to and surrender to this faith into the divine, and knowing that we are like it comes from within. It's once we open ourselves to it, it's yeah, an unshakable connection, which is part of who we are. And
Mhm.
being spiritual, it's bridging this connection between this human part and the divine part, in my opinion, because somehow we got disconnected from this knowing, trusting, not doubting our power in the spiritual, in the
Yes.
unseen.
And all those things are within us. So you have access to them. No one can tell you what it is, but someone can show you how to access it.
Exactly.
And so I really like the fact that you said that it is a human and a divine experience that gives you your spirituality. I love that. I love the way that you and with them together. You can't have one without the other because there's a lot there. Some people think you have to be all spiritual or all woo woo or all religious to be spiritual, and they don't really address the human experience. It's putting them together that cancels out, I would say, that woo woo feeling that people talk about, and that so back off because I don't understand, you know,
Yes.
reaction
Yes,
that you
exactly.
get. Yes.
Exactly, and I also don't think it's there is a tendency to go into this like how to call it, love and light, full spiritual approach. But I think this is not the point. It's another way of hiding from our own selves, which
Ah,
is not what we want. We want to bring balance, because that's why I think we feel the disconnection both individually and collectively, because these two parts that should be a whole form a whole, both for the self and the collective,
right.
are disconnected.
Oh,
So
I love that. I love that because I agree with you. You have to have both. Because what I found too, when you're in the we're gonna say the love world, everybody, nobody can do wrong spirituality, always have nobody is truly always happy. Because if you are, you're like you said, you are hiding from yourself, because we are here for a human experience. So
exactly.
oh my God. I'm seeing you eye to eye, girl, over there. I'm seeing you eye to eye. So how do you blend the spirituality? How do you connect the two when you're saying spiritual? And I'm gonna tell you my experience with travel and spirituality, but I want to know, how do you connect the spirituality and world travel together as one, as a lifestyle?
So again, it sends back to my childhood, and I have this little story about it. I so as I said, they were very spiritual, and they encouraged us to be open to the information that comes to us as children. So one day I saw pictures from India in an encyclopedia, and I pointed at it. I was around 6, and I said, I'm going to go there. And my grandpa and my grandma were like, really? Why do you want to go there? And I was like, I feel it. I want to go there. And they told me it's probably a past life connection or a deeper soul connection. And sure enough, when I finished high school, that was one of my first big trips. I mean, I traveled before quite a lot around Europe, but out of Europe, that was my first big trip. And it was
Wow.
very profound for my soul and for my journey. And I knew there's something there related to my initiation journey. And then I realized that life for me, it's about this. It's about listening to my calling, going to where my soul calls me to, and things will unfold, even if I don't know exactly how and where and when. And sure enough, yeah, I've been called to other places, things connected. I had spontaneous land regressions, which is like getting to a place and having all this information coming from either past lives or ancestral stuff. And I was like, this is it. It's part of my soul's evolution as much as my human evolution of knowing the world, knowing other cultures, learning other languages, and so on. So,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
love it. Anyone who knows me knows I do a lot of travel. I am a big believer. Everyone should travel. And you don't just travel for luxury, you travel to get into the culture. So, I've been to Africa. I'll be like, I need to go to the communities where I can see the real people, where I can go to the schools, I can do some donation. Everywhere I go, I do I don't want to I do a mission, but personal mission. So I don't do
yeah,
it with I haven't done it with other people, but listen, I had my whole suitcase and it was filled, I fill it with crayons, coloring books, snacks, toothbrushes, toothpastes, and I carry it across on the plane with me to wherever I'm going so that I can do those things. I've gone to communities where, you learn the traditional cooking. And what you're saying is every time I travel, I have a new level of spiritual connection.
Yes, I do believe that land holds energy the same as we do. Like everything is energy. So when we connect to a new land, we just calibrate to that energetic blueprint, which brings new stuff for us. But I also think we come there for a reason with our own
Yeah.
energy, with our own what some call codes. It might
Yes.
sound a bit, but I perceive them this way. Even when I do energy work, they come
Yes.
in the sense of new codes, and I think that's why traveling and pilgrimages also have their role in our lives.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So when you were talking about being rebellious and you talked about how you listened to your inner calling, you listened to how you felt you needed to go, what gave you the strength to actually go through it? A lot of people may feel or they may think, oh, what if it's like this, or what happens, because going to India right after high school, that's a big jump. And I don't know if you went, did you go by yourself?
No, I was with friends, and I
Okay,
met
even
friends
with
along the way.
friends, even just with friends to go to India, and I'm assuming you stayed for a pretty
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
So what helps you to stay connected to going through and following that lead, following the mission, following the calling? What helps you do that?
I really think a lot of it's my upbringing and the fact that they were supportive to 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 our ideas and impulses. It was sometimes frictional because they would have like the more academic approach at times, or but there was always that support. And the thing that there was always this openness towards spirituality, I think helped a lot. And I realized growing up that it's not something very common, or at least it was not uh, 30 years ago.
Yes.
But this I felt supported, and I had this support. I mean, they didn't disown me or reject me for my crazy ideas. In the same time, I always found some unfairness in how society expects us to be. Even from school, I was always very vocal about what I was noticing. It was not working in my
Mm.
favor every time. But
Ooh.
I always thought that the system is meant to support us and help us grow, not to box us up. But the more
Impressive.
I realized what's going on, I was like, I can't fit in something that's so rigid. So I knew that there is a way to
To move,
to
keep it moving, huh?
yes, and that it will not be
Okay.
seen
Yeah.
as
So
a
I'm
normal
sorry.
choice, so to
Right.
speak.
It- It's fortunate that you had that support, right? Not everyone has that support, or they even know anyone they could talk to about it. So if you could give them one piece of advice on taking that leap or taking that jump into either spirituality or travel, because I think if they do one or the other will come, you know?
Yeah,
So if you could give them a piece of advice to take a leap to either one when they are scared but they want to, what would you tell them?
trust. I think trust, even if there's a lot of unknown in the leap, because there will be unknown, especially when we do changes, when we listen to callings that are not only from the mind, but they are deep callings. There will be this unknown factor. What's on the other side of the change? What will happen if I start traveling, or if I start exploring my psychic abilities, spirituality, and so on. So, trusting that the path appears and the path unfolds once you take action, and that, yeah, there's so much beyond the fear I was a lot of times very afraid of what if, especially in the beginning, especially in, yeah, starting my first big travel or hitchhiking around Europe before the travel. The first travel to India, I was hitchhiking around Europe, which also was quite overwhelming at times,
Yeah.
but trusting and uh, tuning into the vision, like what do you feel, like tune into it and let it guide you, because it will uncover so much potential, and our minds cannot even conceive to start with how things will unfold. So trust and take the action.
Yes, yes. And I like when you said trust of what will happen, what you're seeing happen, trust in that. So another thing that people can do, if you don't feel like you can trust what happens, visualize what happens if you don't. What if you don't? What then?
Yeah,
I think that will help people take action. If we start looking at, well, what if I don't do this? You should be more scared of that
yeah,
than.
exactly.
Mhm.
And the change will always enlarge our perspectives, even if it's something we don't like, and we discover, oh, full-time traveling, it's not for me, or this path, it's not for me. There are many other paths, there are many other styles of going and exploring, maybe for a month, um, summer or so on, and having a home base. It's finding your sweet spot with stuff. But if you don't try and you don't
Yep.
expand the comfort zone and the perception, then you don't know what
Right.
what suits you best. And with
Right.
spirituality, I really believe this. We have to try and see what resonates with us, not take things like they are the absolute truth, because what works for some might not work for others, and be playful with it, not
Yeah.
rigid. I think it's time to be playful and experimental with it, and not like try to box us but with other things, with spiritual things,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
make it yours.
Yes. Yes. I do. I'm going to back you up on, if you don't try, you'll never know. But trying is what helps us get to know ourselves. I do
Exactly.
believe that. So, as I was introducing you and we were talking a little bit about energy, I love everything energy, right? So, what is the importance to you about being an a facilitator? Why is that important to you in your mentorship?
I think we are rediscovering now as a collective our abilities to connect, tune into, but also use energy for different things, from healing to amplifying our existence, to connect to each other on a more intimate and deeper way, and get into more one consciousness, if you will, like this what people talk about, new age of Aquarius, or however we want to call it. It's obviously that we are going through transitional times, and
Mhm.
I believe it's important to remember how to use, also to open new paths of how to connect and use energy, and activate it from within, because we are energy. So it's been dormant for so long, this part of ourselves. We've been entertaining the material mostly for the
Mhm.
past, let's say, 2000 years or more. It's been very much material connected. So
Mhm.
I believe that many feel the calling to facilitate, maybe because we did it in other lifetimes, or ancestrally, or this is the mission of our soul now. And a lot feel the calling to step into it. So it's a time of remembrance and of guiding each other through this. Also, every time I facilitate energy work and I hold spaces, it's transformational for me as well, So it's always connected. It's not like the doctor, I'm here doing the thing. No, it's a interconnected process. And as I listen to my colleagues, this was one of them, and really deep, to be of service this way. And I work with people, but I also work with the earth grid and nature a lot. And through myself and my own healing, I believe we create this ripple effect in the world. And yeah, it's my journey, but also this being of service to humanity here and now.
Yes. So if someone wanted to work with you with their energy, what would a typical session look like?
It depends on what we work with. It can be a guided journey with energy work, it can be distance energy work, um, clearings or activations. It really depends on what we work. I work a lot with sacred wounds, which again, I believe we are at a time that we are profoundly integrating it and forgiving each other, in on a soul level, for what's been going on in a wounding sense. So I work a lot with that, like sisterhood wound, witch wound, motherhood, fatherhood, and so on. And yes, it's a journey. Some people feel it very much with their bodily senses, some have full visuals. It's unique from person to person, because we are unique, we have unique energetic blueprints, and also unique stories. So how we decipher what comes, it's unique for
Yes.
all of us. I also get spontaneous channeling at times, and light language, which again, it's spontaneous during the session. So it's a mix
Yes, I
according
definitely
to.
understand. I understand that language and I understand where you're coming from. So, if anybody wants to work with you, how would they reach out to you? You can tell us how to reach you on that one. But I do got one more fun question before we leave.
Sure.
So, you can
People
ask,
can
tell them how to reach you if they want to work
Yeah,
with you.
people can connect with me at the moment on Facebook. It's Tania Teodor, like my name, and also on Instagram, but mostly on Facebook. There will be a website coming up soon as well. At the moment, in my Facebook group, there are one-to-one sessions available, but rarely. I have a membership um, for women on their spiritual path, but also magical, practical magic, and energy work circles. And I will be also launching a mystery school for women soon. So the
Mm.
group setting, it's what's more available at this time. But I do offer one-to-one as well, occasionally. So
Okay.
people can connect on Facebook, and there's a lot of info all the time. I'm very open about how things work.
Yes, so if you are looking for someone to work with you interjectically or help you heal energy or help you connect with your own energy, reach out to Tanya on Facebook. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that mastery school. I'm intrigued about that. We might have to have you back when that opens up.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing that has been on my mind since you talked about being a world traveler, I know you went to Europe, I know you went to India, but if you could name your top place you've been, and that might be kind of hard, so you can give me two if you want, but name your top two places you traveled and why was it your top?
So I will put Romania there, but only as a exception, because it's my motherland. So,
Okay.
but it's a very beautiful place, and the nature, it's absolutely amazing. And I always feel connected, as my roots are still there. But for me, India has always been in my top, so to speak. It's hard to make a top, but it's so vast. And that's what I was talking to my daughters today. You go from the mountains to the desert, and then you have subtropical and tropical, and all these cultures and colors and different languages everywhere. So on all levels, it's just stunning as a
Yes,
place.
I
But
love nature.
Morocco also. We
Mm.
spent there 2 years and a half during the pandemic, and it was really such a beautiful experience. Again, very rich land, super friendly people. We were there in a camper van, and we had an amazing time, like so hospitable. And again, the culture, the symbols, the land itself, so amazing. So yeah, this, if I have to choose, I would say this too. But
Oh,
yeah, I love the world. I would love to see it all. if i
right.
if I have the chance, I'm open to it.
Right. And where are you right now?
Now we are in Himachal Pradesh. It's a northern state in India. We are in a less known valley called Banjar Valley, and it's really beautiful, slow living. We have
Uh,
here lovely people, uncle and auntie, Indian family that we are like family. So it's a beautiful place to recharge and connect with the mountains. And we've been 2 years in the tropics, so coming to a bit of autumn weather and being in
oh.
in in the mountains, it's been really good for the family.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. But wow. So your first trip, let me get this right. Your first trip was to India, and you are here today from India with it. I
Yes.
love it. All right. Thank you for having this conversation. But before we go, is there any last words you would like to share with the audience?
um, Love yourselves. Trust yourselves, like be your best project, your best friend, your best supporter. And yeah, take the action, like play, experiment, step into your power. I think we are really supported energetically, divinely by Mother Earth nowadays to fully step into our inspiration, creativity, like unleash it. And that's something I tell myself as well with each step. So
Yes. So to wrap what she said up in a pretty little bow, get outside your comfort zone and try something new. That is how we're going to say it right there. You understand those words. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
thank you so much for having me. It's amazing conversation. I love this so much.
Yes. So if you've joined this live, this podcast show, please drop some questions or comments in the comments. We will answer those for you. Drop those waves and let us know. Hit hashtag replay. We will talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye bye.